Hello and welcome to the Sharkunel video channel. I am Sharkunel, a Pokemon Go trainer in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. I've created this YouTube channel to try to provide some highlight and recap videos from Silph Road PvP events in the region to try to promote interest in PvP in our area. This first video will be a recap of the Tempest Cup, the Silph Arena Tempest Cup, which was conducted in the West Hills region of Pittsburgh on March 31st, 2019. I was able to win that tournament, but it was a very large and very fun, very interesting event. We had over 18 trainers, or 18 trainers that participated. You can see the Silph Road sign up page I'm scrolling through right here, showing the teams. Of interest to me was the small number of Tropiuses. It was a good advantage to have one. I was one of the people who had one. And this is the first match, the first round match. I did record some of them. You can see my team here on the bottom. My first round opponent, OVO Jake. His team is on the top. I decided to lead with Celio. I debated using Lapras in this tournament, but decided that Celio was easier to use and had a simpler rule set. And my strategy when using Celio as a lead was to expend whatever shields were necessary or take whatever actions were necessary to get past the first Pokemon of my opponent. Celio was pretty tough and very fast with the body slams, and so is most often able to do that. So here I am just sort of body slamming away. The risk here was that he would have had a Charge Beam Lantern, which I think can take out Celio, but as it turned out, he had a Water Gun Lantern. And so Celio was able to do his job in this first match. He got past the first Pokemon with half his health left. The opponent here does have shield advantage. So here, just I never want to use a switch unless I absolutely have to, or if the opponent's already done so. So here I was just trying to do as much damage to this Quagsire with Celio as I could. He'd already completed his job. This was gravy as far as I was thinking. So Celio's going to finally go down here, and I think in my head I'm sitting pretty here. So I've got Tropius. He switches out the Quagsire, but I have a bad stroke of luck here as the Pokemon he brings in is just a terrible match for both my Tropius and my third Pokemon, which was Altaria, and he's able to sweep the last two with Glalie here, and I end up losing the first match. Not a great start to this tournament. So with the second round here, I can very easily go down a rabbit hole and trying to think myself in circles how to plan out the teams to select. But if I'm recalling correctly, I believe I led with Tropius on the second match. Yeah, so I got rid of Altaria. I didn't want to get swept by Glalie again. I replaced it with Skarmory. And here I'm going to lead with Tropius. Okay, so I get a very good matchup on the lead here. He brings Quagsire, which is an easy win for Tropius. He switches to Glalie. I'm ready for it this time. I switch out to my Celio, who, by my understanding, and I think I prove here, Celio can take out Glalie. So I just keep body slamming away. It's neutral damage to Glalie, and I think anything that Glalie can bring is resisted by Celio. See, he doesn't do much with the Shadow Ball there, so I'm just body slamming away. And I think Celio is going to take out Glalie here. So Celio's done his job again. He gets past the first Pokemon, and here we have energy advantage, Pokemon advantage, and I think we're sitting pretty good here. And again, with the water gun Lantern, I think Celio's in pretty good shape to do some damage here on Lantern and really do some good work here at the beginning of round 2 of this match. I want to keep Celio going as long as he can now that he's into the second Pokemon. So I use the shield, get off a number of body slams here. So Celio has nearly taken out 2 Pokemon. He does finally go down. I bring in Tropius. He's got Quagsire, which is a bad match for Tropius, so I take the second game, and that's a good game to Jake. So if I'm recalling correctly, I believe in this third match, I went back to leading with Celio, still leaving Altaria on the sideline. And when he brings Lapras, I still think this is a pretty favorable matchup for me. Again, I don't know. I don't think Lapras has anything that can really hurt Celio that badly, and the body slams don't do a great deal of damage, but they at least do neutral damage to Lapras. So if I'm willing to just eat whatever Lapras is bringing, I believe Celio can get on the other side of this. So here, now we've got shield advantage. Celio slowly chipping away at Lapras. We can survive the surf and the ice attacks with Celio. He switches out to Tropius here. So now we know he has a Lapras that's mostly dead. We switch into Skarmory, which I don't even have to do a charge move. We can just farm. Skarmory can take anything that Tropius can bring. So we just farm the energy here. So now we know Tropius is gone. He has a half-dead Lapras, and he brings the Lapras back. So Skarmory has a Sky Attack ready, possibly 2 Sky Attacks ready. He does get off a Surf, which I block, bring the second Sky Attack, which takes out the Lapras. And now we have Skarmory against that Glalie again. He's got no shields. So I let Skarmory go down, and I've got Whiscash. And with 2 Pokemon left to his 1, I do end up taking the third game. So good game to Jake, good match, and I'm able to win the first round. Now I apologize to my second round opponent, Carol 12. I just forgot to video that, and I don't have video of my second round. And this is the third round, and I also forgot to video the first match. So I'm up one game to none here in the second round of my third match. And this is the most disastrous game. I simply picked wrong. I had a bad matchup all along and really had no chance here. Picked the wrong lead, had to switch, got taken out. His Abomasnow is one of Celio's weaknesses. So Celio's getting eaten up here. It gets off a couple of body slams, but it's really forestalling the inevitable. And again, Lantern's vulnerable to this grass and ice onslaught as well. So there's really nothing I can do here in this match. And now he's got 2 Pokemon to my 1. Magneton I don't think is necessarily a good matchup for Lantern here. He gets off his discharge first, and that's a good game to David. David is a competitor that I had faced in Boulder Cup back in January, and he knows what he's doing, so he was by no means a pushover here. He took me to 3 games. So this is the third game. I led with Tropius. I get a good matchup here. Tropius can take out Abomasnow, so he switches to Cast Form, which was a complete wild card. I had not prepared at all for Cast Form. Didn't know what he was going to do. Figured it was ice, so I blocked him. Switched out to Lantern, assuming Cast Form would perform like the other ice Pokemon that Lantern is able to defeat. So I think this ended up being an okay matchup for me. Weather Ball didn't do much to Lantern, but that was a wild card. I had no idea coming into this what Weather Ball was going to do. So I believe Lantern is able to take out the Cast Form here. Yeah, so I get off a Thunderbolt, and Lantern is able to take care of Cast Form. Magneton comes in. Don't think that Lantern's going to do too much here. I do get off a Thunderbolt, which he blocks, but Lantern's going to go down here in a moment. And then I bring in Tropius, because Tropius is a good matchup against Magneton, as long as he can survive the discharge, which he does. But then gets taken out by the second discharge. So this was the match where I was lucky. Unlike the first round match where I really got unlucky with Glalie, I did get lucky in my third pick here with Altaria, which was able to sweep his last two and come back from that position of disadvantage to sneak out the victory here on my third round matchup. So good game to David 042883. Hope to battle you again in the next cup. And the fourth round match was Colin 5380, another very good trainer who I met before but never had the opportunity to battle. So I lead with Celio here, and he comes in with Skarmory. I don't think this is a great matchup for me, but I don't like to switch out unless I really have to. So Celio can usually battle it out, and if he can't get to the second Pokemon, he can at least take out most of the health of anybody other than Tropius or Abomasnow, essentially. So I just battle it out here with Celio, throwing as many body slams as I can at Cullen's Skarmory here. Celio does not do its job and does not get past the first Pokemon. So we bring in our Skarmory to match it. And then when I see Steelix, I immediately switch out to Tropius for the favorable matchup because I think he's used a switch. So Crunch does a little damage, but not something devastating to Tropius. So with the Leaf Blade, Tropius is able to take out Steelix. So he brings in Skarmory, who just eats up Tropius with a Sky Attack. And then I bring in my Skarmory that had a Sky Attack already charged up to finish off his. And then I'm in a good position here because he had Tropius in the back, and that's not a good matchup against Skarmory. So even with a shield disadvantage, Skarmory is able to survive this aerial ace. Normally you could just farm Skarmory for the energy, but I wanted to end the match, take away any risk, so used the Sky Attack there, and was able to win the first game against Cullen. So the second match, I go back to the standard procedure of leading with Celio again. He brings Skarmory again. So we have the same match as in the first round. And I'm just trying to fight it out with Celio to do as much as I can against Skarmory. And depending on the shield usage, maybe survive to the second Pokemon. That's Celio's job. So it's not looking good at this point. He's got a health advantage, but those body slams take their toll. I do use a shield here, trying to get Celio to the end of this Skarmory to feint it. And here, Celio just shows his toughness. With a sliver of health left, he uses a body slam that isn't shielded. He's able to get on the other side of Skarmory. Cullen brings his Celio, and even with that tiny sliver of health, Celio is able to get off another body slam and take a chunk from the opponent's Celio. So that's really proven the utility of Celio. He really did a lot of great work for me in this cup. So obviously brought in Tropius. He brings in Steelix, which is not a great matchup versus Tropius for him. So Tropius, I get off a Leaf Blade here. He does not shield, so Tropius is able to survive Steelix. Celio takes the last bite, but then I've got Skarmory. And a fully loaded Celio might be able to survive Skarmory, but not one with a tiny sliver of health yet left. So good games to Cullen 5380. I was able to win my 4th round matchup, which brings the final against Retrocity X, this was deja vu for us because I faced Retrocity in the final round of the Boulder Cup back in January. So I have battled him before. He gave me a tough game then, and he's going to give me one now. So I think I tried to make a bold choice here and just led with Tropius. I felt like Tropius was I didn't think he was going to lead with Skarmory or Altaria. So I got a good matchup here. Tropius was able to eat up most of the health on that Lantern. He brings in Altaria for the good matchup, but now that he's switched, I make the switch and go to Skarmory. So my Skarmory has a little bit of health advantage here. I wanna take out this Altaria with this Skarmory, so I do expend a shield. He's burning his shields too, so we're shield even. I don't want this Altaria surviving past my Skarmory, so I burn my second shield. He burns his second shield, so now we're out of shields, both of us. So Skarmory is able to almost take out the Altaria. So I bring in Celio, take the last bite of that Altaria. He brings Magneton, and I switch out to Tropius for the advantage. He almost takes me out with Magnet Bomb. I am able to get a Leaf Blade off with a sliver of health left, and those two faint right at the same time. So I've got a loaded up Celio against his Lantern with a little health left, and I'm able to take the game against Retrocity. So for the second game, see what I led with. I want to say I just went back to making the Celio lead. Yep, I led again with Celio. Celio was for me the superstar of this Tempest Cup. He did a lot of work and was a very good lead. So he brings Lapras. Again, we've seen this matchup. Celio can hold its own against Lapras and defeat Lapras. Lapras really doesn't have that much to take out. Celio and Body Slam will just slowly eat him away, doing more damage as a neutral attack than Lapras's resisted attacks. You see, Silph didn't do much at all there. Body Slam's gonna just slowly eat Lapras away. We've got him into the yellow first. Celio does not have to use any shields, can survive these surf attacks. He does use a shield. I'm able to get the Body Slam off first. I believe this gets close to... Nope, he gets off another surf. I do block because I want Celio to get past the first Pokemon here. That's his job. So I'm able to get off another Body Slam. It's remarkable how fast Celio gets off those Body Slams. So we are able to take out Lapras. Celio goes down. Altaria comes out. Same formula. I bring in the Skarmory. So straight up, he takes it out. Switches to Lantern. I've got Tropius sitting in the back, ready. So I think Tropius, we're out of shields now. He has shield advantage, but Tropius does a lot of work and is able to survive one Thunderbolt here and finish off Lantern, or at least burn his last shield, and then able with the fast attacks to just finish off the Lantern. So now I've got Tropius with a little left. Out comes Altaria. Not a good battle, but Tropius, I believe, does get off one Leaf Blade here to take a little bite of Altaria. And then goes down. But now we've got a Skarmory with a fully ready Sky attack. Have to eat a Dragon Pulse, but then I'm ready to go with a Sky attack. At least one and maybe two. That hurts him. I do have to take one more. I'll use Sky attack that time. But Skarmory is tough and is able to survive it, and we are able to take the second game against Retrocity, which was the fifth and final round, and so we were able to take the Tempest Cup for the Pittsburgh West Hills region. This was a really fun event. I wasn't going into it intending to win. It was a really big field with a lot of strong trainers, so I was thrilled. And so here's a couple of photos, me acting a fool for the game. That is Retrocity in the white hoodie behind me. Here's one of the organizers, Allie, and I want to extend a thank you to her and Exile EXO for all the hard work to set up the tournament. It was a great time. And here on the left is David, my third round opponent. In the middle here is Exile EXO, another one of the organizers. And on the right there, that is Arctic Seal, another one of the trainers who participated in the event. And here on the left, we have Stelfair, and on the right, Melgood 711. And finally, here I am mugging with the prize, which is a nice bottle of maple syrup with a sticker on the front with the Tempest logo. And finally, as I end this video, I would like to thank a number of YouTubers whom I've learned a great deal about PvP from. That would include Trainer Tips, King IV, PokeAK, Zionic, Swag Tips, Battle Hero, and Elite 4 TV. And as I conclude, I hope to include additional videos later recapping some later Silph Road events, so stay tuned to this channel for those later uploads.